What's the most awkward job you've ever had as a teenager? So this is kind of a mess, and I'm not sure if I handled it right, but whatever. I, 17M, got hired by my neighbor Mrs. Williams to walk her dog Bailey after school for $20 a week. Not great money, but I needed it for my car insurance, and my parents said I had to get a job if I wanted to keep driving. Bailey's this old golden retriever, super sweet, but he's got arthritis or something. Mrs. Williams told me he needs daily walks for his health, but honestly, some days he can barely make it to the end of the street before he's panting and wants to go home. At first I was just doing normal walks around the block, but Bailey kept getting tired really fast. Like we'd start walking and within 5 minutes he'd be panting heavily and walking slower and slower. I felt bad pushing him when he clearly didn't want to keep going, so I started just letting him set the pace. Sometimes we'd only make it like 3 houses down before he'd just stop and lay down on someone's lawn. Mrs. Williams started getting weird about it though. At first she'd just ask casually how the walk went, but then she started wanting specifics. Exactly where we went, for how long, what route we took. Then she got Bailey a GPS collar for safety, but I'm pretty sure she was actually tracking our walks because she started asking really pointed questions about why we weren't going very far, or why we stopped in certain places. I tried explaining that Bailey gets tired easily, but she said the vet told her he needs consistent exercise for his joints and that I was probably just not encouraging him enough. She started making passive-aggressive comments about kids these days not understanding work ethic, and how I was probably just sitting on my phone instead of properly walking him. The thing is, okay, this is where I might be the a-hole. There were definitely some days where Bailey would get to this empty lot near our house and just lay down in the grass, and honestly, he seemed so content just resting there that I'd let him chill while I scrolled TikTok for like 20 to 30 minutes. He seemed happy just laying in the sun, and I figured it was better than forcing him to walk when he clearly didn't want to. Plus, he'd get up and wag his tail when it was time to head home. But Mrs. Williams started getting more suspicious. She'd time exactly when I left and when I got back. She started asking other neighbors if they'd seen us walking. It was getting really uncomfortable. Last week, Mrs. Williams confronted me with printouts from the GPS showing we spent 30+ minutes in the same spot on multiple days. She was furious and accused me of basically stealing from her and lying about doing my job. I tried to explain about Bailey being tired and needing rest, but she said I was making excuses and fired me on the spot. Now I feel kind of guilty because maybe I should have been pushing him more to actually walk. Like what if he actually needed the exercise and I was just being lazy? But also he's 12 years old and has joint problems, so I don't know. Some days he'd literally just stop walking and refuse to move until I let him rest. Am I the a-hole here? Mrs. Williams has been telling other neighbors about it, and apparently she's saying I was neglecting Bailey. Now I feel like everyone on our street thinks I'm some irresponsible kid who scams old ladies.